All right, today we're going to dive into a world of really powerful dialogues, and we're doing it through the lens of Syed Qutb's amazing commentary in the shade of the Quran. Let's get into the timeless conversations it opens up.
Now, this is not your average commentary or translation. What Qut does is invite us to experience the Quran not as some static book of rules, but as a series of, dramatic, unfolding scenes. Each one is just packed with deep, profound meaning.
So how are we supposed to approach these ancient stories today? Well, the way we're going to do it is by listening to the very distinct voices within them. You have the divine, the prophetic, the tyrannical, and the wise. And when you put them all together, they create this incredible chorus that tells a story of a truly timeless struggle.
So let's start at the very top with the most commanding voice of all, the divine voice. This is the voice that really kicks the whole narrative into gear, the one that calls humanity towards its ultimate purpose.
I want you to just picture this for a second. You have Moses traveling with his family in the dark, in the middle of the desert. I mean, this is a man on a journey, right? He's looking for safety, for a path forward after spending years in a foreign land. He's vulnerable, he's searching.
And right in that moment of total vulnerability, he sees a fire. Now, the commentary points out something fascinating here. The original word for perceives actually suggests a feeling of friendliness, almost like Moses is being drawn to a welcoming fire. For him, it's a promise of comfort, of warmth, of direction in all that emptiness.
But as he gets closer, that welcoming fire, it completely transforms. It becomes the site of a direct, universe-shaking announcement. This isn't a hint. It's not a suggestion. It is an undeniable, absolute declaration of ultimate authority. The divine voice has just entered the scene, and, everything is about to change.
Okay, so a divine call like that, it demands a human response. But how on earth does one person carry such a monumental message? Well, this brings us to our second voice, the prophetic voice.
And this comparison just captures the complexity of the prophetic voice so perfectly. On one side, you've got Moses, who's expressing this deeply human fear. He's worried that his speech impediment is going to get in the way of his divine mission. And then on the other side, you hear Abraham, whose voice just rings with this absolute, unwavering trust in that very same divine will.
And that right there is the key insight. The prophetic voice isn't some voice of inhuman perfection. No way. It's a voice that embodies the real struggle of faith. It's this powerful mix of profound trust and totally relatable human vulnerability. And honestly, it's that tension that makes it so incredibly compelling.
Now, you can't have a compelling story without some conflict. And in these narratives, that prophetic voice, it almost always finds itself in direct opposition to the voice of worldly, tyrannical power.
The divine command is for total clarity. No beating around the bush. Moses and Aaron are told to go right up to Pharaoh and just state their purpose, plain and simple. I mean, think about it. That is a direct challenge to the entire power structure of that time.
And Pharaoh's response? It tells you everything you need to know. As the commentary points out, he's not actually asking a question. This is pure sarcasm. It's the voice of someone so wrapped up in their own power that the very idea of a higher authority is just laughable to them. He dismisses it completely.
So in this one short, sharp exchange, you get right to the heart of the matter. It's staging a timeless debate between two completely opposite worldviews, one that's rooted in divine truth and another one that's all about the arrogance of temporary earthly power.
But not all the voices in the text are locked in these epic, world-changing confrontations. There's another, more intimate voice here, the voice of gentle wisdom, the kind that's passed down from one generation to the next.
This is where we meet Luqman. He's a figure who's famous not for prophecy, not for power, but for wisdom. And the advice he gives to his son, it's not about taking on kings. It's about how to build a righteous character, how to live a balanced and humble life.
What's so powerful about his advice is just how practical it is. It moves so smoothly from the spiritual stuff, like prayer, to the social stuff, like making your community a better place. The commentary really emphasizes this deep focus on personal conduct and humility. Don't walk around arrogantly, don't turn away from people with pride. Even that last one, lowering your voice, is presented not as a sign of weakness, but as a sign of self-confidence and respect. It's basically a complete guide to living a good life.
So, when we listen to this whole chorus of voices, the divine, the prophetic, the tyrannical, the wise, what do we ultimately hear? We hear a conversation that has been echoing through the ages.
We've really listened to 4 distinct voices today. The divine, calling us to our purpose. The prophetic, showing us how to answer that call with both faith and fear. The tyrannical, trying to silence truth with arrogance. And the wise, teaching us how to walk the path with humility.
And this all brings us to a final, really crucial question. These dialogues, they frame a fundamental human conflict. It's a battle between humility and arrogance, between divine truth and worldly power. So the question that's left for us is, when we listen to the world around us today, which of these ancient voices do we hear echoing the loudest?